What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we got a weapon mod video tutorial. We're going to be importing a custom weapon to Starfield. I'm going to show you guys my workflow, so you guys can put out weapon mods. If you want to put out asset flips on the creation store, this is how you would do it. I'm going to show you my workflow method because I think I don't know what other people do, but I feel like my method is more efficient, and it's really streamlined. And also I use custom tools that I made to do this. So first off, you're gonna need Blender 3.6.5, and I'll try to link everything down in the description. You're gonna need the SGB plugin for Blender. I'll link that in the description. It's kind of hard to set up, so you have to join the Discord and ask them how to set it up. And there's some other stuff I'll be mentioning along the way if I can remember, because we're kind of redoming this. So we're gonna be using this AK-47. We're gonna put it in the Starfield. Anyway, so it looks like I can't show you guys the gun in game, but it's from Call of Duty Remastered, Call of Duty 4 Remastered, and it's the AK-47. From what I saw online, it's not a good version of the AK-47 apparently, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna be placing the AK in the game in Starfield. And one thing I like to do, this is really important, since there's no animation support, custom animation support for Starfield. What I do is, when I think of a gun I want to import, I go watch the Starfield, all weapons showcase video, and I look at how the guns reloads. For example, like this, and the sizing and everything of the gun, and I kind of picture, hey, is this gonna, how will this work for that? This is gonna work just fine. And then, I go here, I look at how this reloads. Obviously, the newer CODs are gonna have like super complex animations and super like all types of different shit. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So like, I'm gonna be using this animation basically for this gun, if that makes sense. So let's close out of that. And you can get your, you get your models off Sketchfab, CG Trader and all that stuff. So before you get here, you wanna make sure you got the SGB plugin installed and everything, so you can export right. And let me see, I think that's it for now. So what I want to do is, since I want to model this out the AK in the game, I want to import that. Also, you want to unpack the meshes for Starfield. I have the whole game unpacked, so you have to import the gun you want to replace or use as a reference for sizing and everything. So my Starfield unpacked folder, we have, where's it at? Russian assault rifle, and this is very important for lining up and stuff. So we're gonna import this one right here. Let me see real quick. Let me see how this looks. It looks really small. Let me import the other one and see what that looks like. It should be a receiver. Every gun has a receiver for Starfield. So yeah, we'll just go off that right there, off that receiver. And so let's do this. Let's delete the skeleton on our gun like that. Get rid of all the bones and stuff, all the bones and stuff, but we'll do that in a second. Let me just select this entire thing, this collection, scale it down, and we'll just bam. You gotta have basic Blender knowledge to do this. This took me a few months of learning and a few tutorials. It's like you need extremely basic Blender knowledge to do this, because we shouldn't be doing anything too advanced in this video. So I'm gonna line this gun up like that. You want to make sure that trigger is like damn near really close like that, and the handguards should be like that, and the magazine should be like that, and that's damn near perfect already. So that's why I chose the AK, so it should be the easiest. And then we're gonna be animating this bolt right here, so when you shoot the gun, it'll go back just how this one goes back every time. And we're gonna be doing this. The grip should be lined up perfectly right there. There's no stock in the game, I believe. Handguard, all this stuff. Magazine should be all right. So that's pretty much it for right there. I'm gonna go ahead and save this to my desktop and call it AK47 Starfield. And if you guys want me to share these files too, I would gladly be, share them in the description. So if sometimes whenever you port a gun from another game, or port a gun from another game or get it offline, you want to make sure you delete the skeleton before you size it down, and get rid of all the modifiers and everything on all the extra bones on these files. So let's get rid of all these stuff because we don't need this. That's for clothing mods. And we covered that in the last video or a couple tutorials ago. So I'm gonna delete all of that. And bam, bam. And I'm pretty sure you could type in like a Python script to clear all this, fill a ton. So yeah, we got our grip right there, and each model has its own texture for this gun. So if we go right here, look at the material. Each model should have its own texture. If they have the same texture names, like this one right here, go ahead and combine it. That's gonna make life easier for you. Mag base, yeah. Because the bullet, yeah, just go ahead and combine that. That'll make everything easier. If you could combine all the meshes that have the same texture, life would be way easier. Okay, bam, we got the trigger. In the Starfield games, they separate the triggers from the guns. I don't see the purpose of that. It's up to you really, but for this video we're going to be combining that because sometimes the player animates pulling the trigger, but it's barely even noticeable. So right here, we'll just you can also for the AK, there's also animation for this right here. But we're not gonna be doing that either. This would be too complicated for this video. So we're just gonna be combining those because they have the same texture. And what is this? We're not gonna be combining that because we want to animate this. So we're gonna leave that separate like that. Even though they use the same texture, we're gonna not do that. But we're gonna be animating this right here. Yeah, we're gonna animate that right there. Sights, stock, mag, and then we should have the handguard and then grip. So I'm gonna save that, and let's see. And also, I think it's really important you rename too. So you want to rename the mesh. So when you export the NIF file, it won't be this file. It'll be like the mesh name and everything will be organized. So right here we have the kind of the receiver there. So we'll just call this AK receiver. What is this? We just call this AK bolt. That's how it is in Starfield. Okay, AK iron sights. And I'll probably do attachments in this video too. AK stock. And also, yeah, I've been working on probably 2 separate programs, fully AI generated code, and it may sound like a mess already. But later in the video, I'll show you guys what we've been cooking up for the past week, and it's pretty dope, honestly. I might continue supporting it. But AK grip. Now it doesn't really matter what you name it, just we want to stay organized though. So bam, we got that stuff right here. And what you want to do is we want to right click the selection, select all objects, and we want to apply our transforms. That way when we export it, it won't be super weird. So let's go to object, apply all transforms. That way everything's zeroed out right here. That's really important. And the scale is zeroed out. That's really important. So bam, we're pretty much almost there. So let's hide everything but the receiver because we're going to be exporting that. So let's go ahead, export this. Export as NIF, and we're going to be going to, did I create a new folder yet? I did not. Okay, let's create a new folder on our desktop called AK47 Starfield. And you don't touch anything, or actually, for you do want to touch something here. So when you export, uncheck generate hash names, and just keep this checked. Just uncheck generate hash names and just export custom NIF. And we're gonna open NifSkope. And I'm gonna be going kind of fast in this video because open 2 separate NifSkopes because we don't want to make this video too long. But just try to hang in there. So we're gonna go here, go to our exported unpacked Starfield folder, mesh weapons, and then Russian assault rifle. And then we're gonna go to the suppressor or receiver. This is really important. So when we export the receiver of our custom weapon, we want to open the receiver of the vanilla weapon we're replacing on the left hand side. Right here, receiver. Bam, just like that. Because, you know, this has all the properties, all the parents and children. This is really important. And these parents right here, this is basically our attach points. So right here, if I just open this up, we have a magazine right here. When we set up our magazine, this is gonna, you know, control the location of the magazine. This is PMag, yeah, P barrel, which we're not gonna be including one in this video because the barrels are kind of attached. I could separate it, but I don't feel like doing that in this video. P grip, stock, scope, we're not gonna have that either. And then casings, which we're gonna have. So we're gonna move those. We're gonna move 2 from these, but let's just go ahead. And what you do is to copy this over. If you can see the other videos that we did with NifSkope, you want to select BS geometry, hit Control C. You want to find wherever this mesh is at right here under this night node. It's really important because you get the collision right there. And you want to hit that and hit Control V. Not Control Shift V, hit Control V. And then we want to save this to our Starfield data folder, meshes, because all meshes go here, and your common Starfield data meshes. And create this folders if you don't have it. Create a weapons folder. That may not be needed, but I think you should create it. And we're gonna do COD for AK. So yeah, so we're gonna put this. We're gonna put it right here under AK receiver. And I'm just gonna open the creation kit in the. Well, that might crash my computer actually. We're gonna open Painter because that's gonna be the next step in the background. So yeah, once we got that saved in our folder, we want to delete this right here. And we have a safety. Oh, yeah, okay, keep that. Where's that safety at? Yeah, right here. I'm gonna delete that safety because the model already has one right there. And yeah, just save that. And let's see. That's it for that part right here for now, at least. What I like to do now is, once I have that set up, it's time to do texturing. So this is going to be super complex. If you don't know anything about texturing files, it took me months last year to figure out anything about texturing. I didn't know what a normal map it was, rough, metal, albedo, color. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. It took me like months to learn that stuff last year. And you know, my first few mods had like really bad, they were the wrong maps or everything. So I'll try to kind of explain that in this video. But it's gonna be a little bit more complicated with the COD files because they're different. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit A on my keyboard, go to File, Export. You're gonna export as an object, OBJ file. We're gonna save it here, Starfield, and just go to Selected Only. So yeah, make sure you got Selected Only checked, and bam, hit Export. And if you don't have Substance Painter, there's other ways to get it. I highly recommend you get this program. There's also like a free trial probably on with Adobe. It's a super powerful software. So we're gonna go to File, New, and I have a custom template set up for Call of Duty. So I'll show that as well. Make sure we're at PBR, specular glossiness, document resolution. We're gonna put this to 2K, And for a file, we're going to be selecting our Starfield AK. So bam, now we got our AK right here and our materials right there. And one thing I'm going to do is for Call of Duty files, if I can find the link to this plugin I have, that you have to have the plugin for Call of Duty files, I'll link it in the description. But it's strictly only Call of Duty files, everything Call of Duty. We're gonna, so if you're not importing a Call of Duty weapon, you probably ignore this and do another method. But we're gonna be go to shader settings, PBR spec loss. We're gonna be going to metal rough, PBR metal rough, and we're gonna delete all the layers on each material. Let's save this just in case. Okay, SP. And this plugin I have, it should be in the filters. It's called specular to metal. So we're gonna drag that to each one. Each one. Each one. Each one. And then for each one as well, we're going to texture set settings. Go channels, we go plus. Oh, we could keep that. Yeah, you get ambient occlusion, base color, metal, rough. And you see that change colors. If you're gonna have emissive textures, you hit emissive 2 as well. So we're gonna do that for each gun. Ambient, base, metal, rough. Yeah, right there. Yeah, this is really only for the Call of Duty files, I believe, so far, because that's what I'm super familiar with at the moment. Implement base. And then stock, yeah. Metal, rough, okay. So, if everything goes well, we're going to look like this. And we're going to add a fill layer right here, this little bucket. Put it under the plugin, GN Inspected to Metalness. So for each one, this is how I set everything up. For each one, bam. Save it again, and we're going to bake everything right now. Bake. And then we're going to go to, this is what I like about Substance right here. We're going to do a 2K output, for ambient occlusion, self-occlusion, only same mesh, yada yada yada. I believe that's correct right here. You can do anti-aliasing, but that's going to take the baking longer. So we're going to go bake select textures. Come back to that in a minute. It's going to take like a minute or two. But for the Call of Duty files, you have to extract everything really. So if we find what are we affiliated with? No. Okay. Material weapon. ASL AK-47. And where's the it's all right here, but these are different variants of the AK in the game. Stock base. I'm going to open that in a new tab. Sights base. Okay, receiver or mag base. Where's receiver base? Handguard base. Where's the handguard at? Looks like it finished in the background. And then we're going to go to grip base. So all these files, they have we're going to be, why does it look like that? Okay, I already did it, looks like. But yeah, for the Call of Duty files, you need this plugin or this program right here called Game Image Utility, and I'll show you guys exactly what it does right now. So what we got right here, stock base. We're going to go ahead and select diff, spec, gloss, and normal. Like that. That turns black. We're going to open our program up. Game Image Util. And you could, this is very complicated, and this is trial and error. If you don't know anything about textures, you're not going to get any of this part, unfortunately. But we're going to be dragging this normal into right here. And it should look like that. If it doesn't, they have a drop down, a wood game, yada yada yada. This is from Modern Warfare, so we're gonna be needing to use that setting right there. Thankfully, not that one. Okay, so we're gonna drag that normal to right here. You see details added right away, and then color. We just do this. This is gonna be Hold on one second. So that's actually gonna be specular albedo right here, I think. So we're dragging that to specular. And then right here, let's see if this is correct right here. Color and diffuse. And then this, oh my gosh. This should be glossness maybe? It's really tricky with these files. Oh, whoops. So bam. Maybe the other way around. Here, let's put that here. And put this here, maybe? No. Yeah, it gets really tricky with these files. So let me just delete those real quick so we don't quit everything. And where's that program at? So color right here. We're using Modern Warfare 1 remaster. And they're not packed. So say we could try this again. Let's do automatic. And we'll put that in spec. It's automatic here. And we'll do automatic here. Which we should be getting a glossness file. This game may not have it involved, maybe. Let's see. Color. That looks a little dark. Yeah, the wood should not be that shiny. So this gotta be switched right here. So bam, color right here, and S right here. Yeah, okay. So there's no glossness file, looks like. Maybe right here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let me start all over again. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, you see their brief there is really complicated. So bam, let's try that again. Delete these. Alright, so we can just hit automatic for all of them, thankfully. That's gonna be our color. We drag that into diffuse. Drag this in there. This is gonna be our spec in our gloss. So spec is right here, I believe. Okay, it was the other way around. So spec is right here, and that's our gloss. And we can also do ambient occlusion if you want. So it looks something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Okay, we got errors. Okay, save it again. So that was just the stock right there. Let's go ahead and do the receiver. Go ahead and enable these materials right here. Take that one off. And that was, which one was that? Receiver right here. So let's do that right now. Drag that into automatic. Bam, you see all details added. Drag this like that. Yeah, that goes into color. Drag this into that. And it looks like this might be two files. Okay, what's going on again? Okay, spec gloss. There we go. So bam, spec gloss. So let's go back to the stock real quick and redo that. So let's just move the spec and gloss and go back over here. Delete that. Delete that. And we're gonna drag this little gray file to spec gloss. And then that's gonna be our gloss right here. And then that's gonna be our spec, and that should be correct. Now they kind of like they're matching. There we go. So yeah, let's save that again. We gotta move the textures. Now let's do the magazine. Mag base right here. Let's just for this right here, for this little right here, put that in there. What we got is this. Bam, bam, bam. It's where's it at? Gloss right here, spec right here, and then automatic right there. And then we'll just drop an AO file too right here. Oh, we didn't do a diffuse yet. Where's it at? Yeah, right here. So that looks good. Okay, let's do the grip right here. Where is it at? Heavy handguard. And also I'll do some touching up on the textures too as well. You guys some I'm not an expert at Substance Painter, but I'll show you guys what a little bit what I know. So automatic on that, automatic on that, automatic on that, and then we'll just spec gloss again for this one. Yeah, each game's gonna be different with that. Color right here, normal, like that. And where's the spec at? Right here. We'll just do that as well. Even though the AO makes a tiny bit of difference, we'll do it in this video. And then grip. Same thing right here. Let's do that. Spec. Bam, bam, bam. You can drop multiple files there apparently. Need to do that instead. Fuse. And it looks black, but we'll fix that. Or it looks like blackish. It's kind of weird to explain that, but we'll fix that in a second. This could get very tedious after a while, but if you're like, you got some music going on, you're in flow, which they already did the sites, I guess, a while ago. And it looks like I was fucking up. So, man, we'll delete those. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's delete everything here that I tried to fuck with. Okay. Bam. Keep it normal there. I don't know what that is. Like that. So we had that normal. Where is it? Sites. We had the normal. We should add some stuff on the yeah, some little print stuff. Let's try this. Bam, bam. And then bam. And then spec gloss right here. You can tell what the gloss and spec gloss is. Just looking at the suffix right here, it'll say like _G, glossiness, _S, _color, diffuse, underscore NL NML, be like underscore M, whatever. Normal, OCC, occlusion. You can just tell what the maps are just by looking at those names. So that's pretty much textures are imported. Now let's go ahead and fix this black stuff right here. So we go here, G inspect to metalness, click this, and we're going to change the diffuse value threshold. Keep it like that a little bit. And you can tweak the settings a little bit. Just don't touch anything else. Just touch these knobs right here. Pause, and then stock. Same thing over here. Do that, and then grip, same thing. Now, usually what I do a step before this is I usually like upscale the textures with Topaz. I haven't done it in a while, but it makes a tiny difference if you really care. It'll make a tiny difference to your textures. And after you got that all settled, we want to go ahead and bake it another time. And while that's doing it, we close out of that. I'm gonna set this up. We're gonna go to our export section for Substance Painter. Clear that. And I want to make some folders in Starfield. For the textures, you want to go to Data. If you don't have a folder called Textures, make one called Textures. And then make one called Weapons as well. We named this COD 4AK. And you want to have the same names, so you don't get lost. Doesn't matter, but you want to be organized. So we're gonna go COD 4AK, and we're gonna put textures here. We're gonna data again. We're gonna go to materials, weapons, and we're gonna go COD 4AK right here. Materials. That's when we put our material files. And now that that's done, return the paint mode. This is pretty much good to go. Now exporting is gonna be different now. Let me try to explain that for you guys. So let me just remove everything unused, and you can start texturing everything if you want. And if we have time in this video, I'll probably do a skin or two. So we're gonna go File, Export, Textures, and for Call of Duty, you don't want to export as diffuse spec. Nah, that won't work at all for the Starfield. So you want to go to output templates, and I believe, yeah, you want to set it to PBR metallic rough, and then you gotta tweak this a little bit. So I made 3 that you can kind of take a look and copy. So this is the color right here. So when it exports underscore color, rough goes underscore rough. And then metal goes underscore metal, and normal. And then you want to create at least 3 of these templates like mine. So you got the opacity. If you got opacity files included, and then ambient occlusion files, if you got those included. That one was kind of tricky to set up. So go ahead and take a screenshot and try to recreate these templates. You have to do this, and then we'll go ahead and export. Use my one called COD with AO, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit export, and that was so fast and lovely. So we're gonna go ahead and exit out of that. I'm gonna open the creation kit in the meantime, and let's see what else do we need to do. Create our material files. So the program I want to show you guys today is one I've been making with, fully AI generated. We're gonna this is how we're gonna create our material files. We're gonna go to our export. Wow. We're gonna go to our export right here. I'm gonna go to my batch tab, and you guys, I have another program for this, so I don't know if I'll release this right away, because I still want to test it out. And I'm basically testing it out in this video, basically. But this has a batch section right here. We're gonna drag there, drag everything there, choose our output folder. And we're going to go to our COD AK textures weapons. convert all, and give it a second. Everything should be done. Just take a second. Bam. Yeah, everything's done. All right. So now, what we could do is, now that we got everything in our texture, that's still loading in the background. If you zoom in like this, you could get the color material. We're just going to create one for the grip right here by doing this. And I have a thing so you just drag and drop. And what is that? This is the grip, right? Yeah. So we just drag and drop there. And we're just going to file save. And we're going to go to materials. The folder we created right here, called 4AK. AK grip. That should have saved there. Let's double check that. Let's double check that real quick. And this may or may not work. We're gonna find out in a second in the creation kit. Just still not loaded. So yeah, that may or may not work. Let's see. Yeah, it should, but we'll see in a second though. So we got down, then we got bam, hit new. Let's do handguard and drag that there. This is supposed to update, but it's not updating properly. AK handguard. That's still loading. Okay. Do magazine. And we probably won't be needing the AO maps. Honestly. It's almost there. Okay, we got magazine, and then what is this right here? Receiver. Which is right here. AK receiver. And then we got sites, which I'm not going to do that for. AK sites. And then new. And then stock right here. Alright, so let's see if this worked. So I created materials, converted all before it opened up. That was the goal of the program, basically. So we're going to go here, material editor. Make sure those loaded up real quick. And I got to refresh. What we'll do is we'll create a new plugin. Starfield, hit OK. And then as you see, it can load up. This is a pretty cool program. This is fully AI generated code. It took this one took, I think well, this loads. This one took, I think, 3 days of just nonstop me back and forth with ChatGPT 5. It's only gonna focus on one shader model, standard one layer, so it doesn't become too complicated. And like that, this program was made so I could do this. So I could just make these material files for these weapons, you know, clothing outfits, whatever, all before the kit loads up, because this is way too long. And then in between that, I'll go ahead and add that here actually. So let's refresh our NifSkope real quick and add that. The hell was that about? Add this texture here. Material, weapons, COD 4K, and look, it loads. The real test is in-game loading, because and then we're gonna be switching the shader model. So this stuff right here, that's gonna be fixed later. There we go. So now that loaded, yeah, give that a second. And then we'll just where we need to go is, I think it's called Russian something. Russian assault rifle. So the way I have it set up is I'll I'll put the weapon I'm trying to copy right here in this window, and then we'll duplicate the weapon file right here. I made a tutorial on this how to do this too as well, but just for vanilla weapons. We'll call this COD 4 AK or COD AK. And I'll just hit OK, and we'll save this plugin COD. Save it as COD 4 AK. Show edited files. And let's go on our AK. Delete this right here. Want to get the receiver right here. Oh, whoops. Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Whatever that just happened. Bam. We want to put that right there. Replace that name. Edit. Bam. And then receiver right here. So that might be a no bueno, but oh yeah, we gotta make that as well. Make our mod associate. Let's remove the underscore. Oh yeah. Kind of confused myself for a second. Let's see that. Rename that. Doing a little bit too many things at once. So bam, I'm gonna add that here. That's AK-47. And then yeah, let's go back to our receiver. We're gonna replace him right here. COD 4 AK. And this probably means it may or may not load, but we'll probably jump in game right now. Set this up real quick and jump in game right now to see if it loads. And I'll just, you know, do this. Yeah. So let's see. Bam, we got that. Bam. Bam. And yeah, we could probably jump in. Well, I gotta add this to the mods. Yeah, we gotta add this wall. And we'll just put that right there. It's purple, but we'll see. We will see. Let's convert that to small master. And let's hop in game real quick. See if this works. See if the material file works, because it worked the other day, or it worked yesterday when I tested it just for a brief period. I replaced the file, and while that's doing that, let's go ahead and refresh this. Refresh that. It's in game. The program works just fine. You guys saw it live in the video. If it doesn't work in game, I gotta back to look at the code. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to help. Let's find our weapon. We call it COD 4 AK. 4 weapon. Let's spawn it in. BA08. Voila! It works. My texture, my material editor works as well. And we'll add the everything else in a second here. But I just want to test that material editor out. You see the reflections on the gun. The rough and material map is working just fine. All right, that's good. I'm not gonna save that. So yeah, we got our materials working just like that. Just like within seconds, we were able to make 6 material files. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and do everything else. We're gonna be deleting that trigger. And there was something else here I saw. Oh yeah, so yeah, let's go ahead and go back to Blender. And if you don't have a beefy computer for all of this, I'm sorry, but you know, try to do one thing at a time. I'm fortunate enough to have 3 of these programs, let alone these 2 programs. You know, so let's go ahead and export this as a NIF, the bolt right here. Open that up, and then Control C. We'll be putting that right here. You can delete that, and if it looks like that, just delete the just zero out the coordinates right here. And I don't know why it did that. Anyway, let's go here. Let's add that bolt material we made for it, which is probably receiver. Yeah, that's receiver. So every time we shoot, this is going to go back. So save that. What else do we have to add? We got the stock here too. Let's go ahead, export. NIF file, yeah. Bam. Sorry, having a brain fart. Because if you want to be super specific, if you got different stocks, different stock models, you know, you don't need to be doing this. You will have to do like a separate NIF file. It gets a little more complicated. But we're not gonna be doing that in this video. Bam. That's gonna be bam. This right here. Let's see. It's AK stock. Looks like it's washed out, kind of. Yeah, it looks like it's washed out. Yeah. Oh well. And then yeah, it could have been maybe I used the wrong files, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks in game though. And then what else we gotta do? Should we do sights? I don't think we should do sights in this video. That's gonna be super complicated itself. We'll do the magazine though. Let's do the handguard. Let's see, bam. Put that right here. Okay. Handguard. Yeah, it looks super washed out. I may have to revisit the textures on that. And then iron sights. So bam, bam. And then we're gonna be doing this. So it's like that. Where is that at sights? Yeah. So it looks like that. And then we'll just enlarge this for now. Some things you want to do in here. Let's get rid of, it's like something, yeah, something right there. Delete that as well. You want the project node. This is, you know, where the muzzle flash is going to be at. Let's, you know, make that a little bit farther. 6 right there. And we could raise it up just a bit if you want to. But that's gonna be like that right there. This has the magazine. Where's the magazine pointed at? Right there. Barrel. And you can't just like. Oh, okay. So let me see. Bam, I can control it down. And then we'll be doing a scope or a stock. We'll be doing casing. And fuck it, we'll do the grip too as well. So casing real quick, that's where the bullets casings will fly out. We made a mod for this a while ago, but I kind of abandoned that, unfortunately. So I don't know where it is in real life, but let's see, we'll put it to the side like this. Yeah, would you like that? That's what casings will start flying out at. All right, so that's pretty much done right there for now. We just got to do the magazine and then grip real quick. So to do that, let's load up the magazine from our unpacked folder right here. Let's go to Russian. Let's go to magazine. You know, if you're gonna do a magazine like this size, you do this. If you're gonna do like a jump size and you need this collision, I'm assuming you use this one, but we're not gonna be using that. I'm using this right here. So now what we're gonna do is, I think we should import that NIF file into here. Say that word, yeah, just like that. And I'm gonna hide everything. Grab the magazine. Don't change the rotation at all. Do not. Just bam, bam, just like that. And then after that, you zero the rotations out. Go to Object. This is really important. Apply. And then we want to export it. So let's do that. So let's go here, and then we can just bam, bam, and we'll delete those. And this is how I made the Elysium AK mod too as well. It was super easy to do. Unfortunately, this weapon model is super small, which is really annoying. And don't save over this, just save as. It's really important. But it's really small in the game, unfortunately. AK mag. There, that message wasn't really important. That just means we have no texture applied or material file applied. So we'll apply right now mag right there. We got that. And now that we have that, same thing for the grip. So you go back to Blender, and that's where's our grip at right here. And so you can't have too many NIFs, too many NIF files import into Blender. So we'll just look at that one, and we'll just go ahead and find the grip, just right here. And we're gonna grab our same thing, did bam, bam. It's not gonna be perfect, and we'll fix that. It's a fucking fly. It's not gonna be perfect, but we'll fix it in NifSkope. And bam, hit all transforms, and then export that. All right. Bam. And we gotta find our grip file. Bam, like that. And then we'll do the same thing here. Bam. Delete that. Where's this at again? Over here. Bam, messages, weapons, COD 4AK, AK grip. And then we'll bam. Set our material just like we did. Bam, and that's it. So now let's close out of that and open our main one again, which is AK receiver, I think it was. And then we have to basically create the object mods for the mag in the grip in the creation kit, and then see how it lines up, and then adjust it from there. And that should be it. So let's head back to the creation kit, and then we're gonna do the magazine standard. Always do standard right here. So bam, do mag right there. Make sure you have your custom mod associate right here. Make sure that attach point is in gun mag right there. Hit OK. And then what did we do? We did grip, yeah. Standard, always do standard. edit, and same thing there, and okay. And then let's put everything together. It's like Lego pieces, but really complicated Lego pieces. So we'll just drag that there, drag that there, and then that should be it for now, I think. Let's hit OK. As you can see, the grip is almost spot on. Just gotta move it up. We just gotta move it forward a little bit, I think. We just gotta move it forward a little bit, and then move the magazine back. So this is what I do to get the exact measurements. You know, if you really nitpicky, you could do. I was really nitpicky when I did the Project Warfare mod. Really nitpicky. Each gun, I really like make sure everything lined up perfectly fine. But we're not gonna be doing that in this video. Really, we're just gonna be eyeing it really fast. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna load the model in game real quick. If this works now. Let's see. Where's everything? Close out of that. We could close out of that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here. We're gonna see how it is like that. The grip is at a really good point. We just gotta move it forward a little bit so it clips into there. The magazine has to go up and to the right a little bit, and that's it. And to adjust that, we're gonna go back to our NifSkope, the receiver with all the parents right here, and we're gonna get rid of these. So we're gonna just hit 4, and she get rid of those. Yeah, there we go. Go to P. Let's do magazine first. So we need to go up a little bit and to the right, and to do that, we just do increments of like 25, 5,000. So we gotta go negative actually. Do increments of like 5. Yeah, that's way too far. So do like right there. God damn it. And this can get really tedious. So that's to the right a little bit, and then we gotta go up just a little bit. So that's like that. And then for the grip, we have to go to the left a little bit, and that's it. And then to refresh your changes, this is something that took me a while to realize. To refresh these changes, I have a cell right here. Go to cell view, load one of these quick test cell right here. Load this cell real quick. I don't remember how to do it. I don't remember how to view in here. Just load it up real quick. Go back to preview, and it should be refreshed. And bam, just like that. So let's go a little bit further. And let's change some settings. This has a FAAM, that means full auto aim auto. So what we'll do is we'll go to aim, iron sights. We're not using iron. We're not really using sights in this gun. We'll change the aim model right here. This is the recoil pattern. So we just do that. We just hit 1. If you want to hit 1. Right there. Run away, do 8, whatever. This is the recoil pattern settings. So you just hit that. And it should be in this list. Okay. Bam. And you can do whatever right there. And all the extra stuff. I have another tutorial for all the small stuff. Do low speed, maybe like 1, whatever. And then let's see. And that's it right there. Yeah. And we'll probably test everything out real quick. To convert to small master. Let's close out of that. And I'll probably go over a skin idea as well, because one thing I saw from the paid mods, I guess they don't do fucking skins. It takes like seconds to do skins if you have templates set up. So we'll probably do skins real quick too, because you can just print those out easily, you know. So let's load this back up. All right, so let's spawn in our gun again. And there you have it. Fortunately, there's gonna be some clipping right there. See the casings. The bolt moves right there. Moves back. You see. Unfortunately, the hand placement. It's probably because of this model, and probably because of the. Let me see. Yes, it's gonna. There's gonna be a small. Oh shit. There's gonna be a small gap. So when you're doing your weapon mods, you have to be kind of creative. If that bothers you, it will for me. Be creative and add something there. Kit bash something there. So I need ammo. So yeah, you would need like kit bash something there. Put like some thick tape or that's loud. Something there, you know, to kit bash. But yeah, bam. That took probably like an hour, maybe. I don't know how long we've been recording for. Just like that, yeah. So let's add some skins. Open Subsuspender again. And in order to do that for your guns, it has to have this object mod right here. Oh, whoops. It has to have skin null right here. So I'm gonna copy that. Yeah, skin null. Yeah. What else? What else? Yeah, I think I think it'll be right there. And then it should still work. Let me see. How do we do it right here? Mod gun mod. Yeah, we'll figure out this. I forgot to do skins, but we'll do it real quick. So we're gonna open up our recent file. Yeah, it was way darker here. So I gotta double check. Yeah, it looks like they're exporting correctly, or being batched correctly in our program. Yeah, I don't know why it came out so dark. Yeah, I gotta double check that later. So bam. To do skin, let's say we want to add a skin on the receiver right there. What I would do is I bought so many, like, you know, little templates, stuff like that, from ArtStation. And we're gonna add this right here. You add it on top of the GN right here. We're gonna add it right there. And we're gonna add like a black mask. And we're gonna hit 4 on our keyboard. And let's hit hit F1, and then to get to this menu. And what we could do is we could just select this, bam. I can't see shit though. Just like that. Just if you want to put a skin right there. And I just want to get that part in. So it looks like that. And to go even further, let's add some details to that. So we're gonna go over here to Smart Mask, add soft damage, just drag it onto the mask right here. Make sure it's multiplied. And then we're gonna go bam, to change the contrast. And then we're gonna, that's it really right there. And then we're gonna go here, export. We're gonna only export, we're only gonna export the receiver. and I didn't touch anything else but the color really. And some of these masks will add like stuff to the rough, metal, and detail and normals. This one right here, I know specifically it touches the color only. So we're gonna export the color again, and that's gonna overwrite what I have. So let's open this up again, and we'll just do this. Oh wait, what the fuck? Oh, I'm tripping. Okay, bam. We'll put that over here. Creating a folder called skins in our textures weapons folder. Bam. Convert all. So that looks like that. So now we want to create a new material, which I could do in our program actually, but I won't right now. Create a material. We want to go to the receiver. I want to kind of clone that. Call receiver desert. And we want to change the albedo right here. So it looks like that now. Oh, what the fuck? Bam. So yeah, that's our skin and that material. Yeah, this is crazy how I didn't think it would, you know, export correctly. Yeah, something's washed about those textures though. Anyway, yeah, back to what we were doing. So I'm just amazed how the program just works flawlessly now. After spending like 3 days just working on it. Anyway, we're gonna create a new weapon mod, which is use it with the base of one of these. So it says to create a new weapon skin, we're gonna go to use one of these as a template. You can delete that. Alright, mod AVM cutter, and then the first, that's gonna be our weapon name, and then call it desert. And then we're just gonna add what's it called? You could put this here. I don't think that matters, but you can put that there. We're gonna put, I think, a material. Let me see. Layer material swap. I think, hold on. Yeah. Okay. We gotta we got to, let me see. Let's save that right there. We gotta make something else too as well. Kind of remembering. I think it was LMS. Yeah, LMS. Yeah, so LMS is the layer material swap. So we'll just do a weapon right here. We could clear all these right here. Bam. We'll call this COD 4 AK desert. So you need to create a layer material swap and a AVM right there. So what's this is gonna do? We're gonna add one right here. Key. This is the source. So let's go to materials right there. Already got it. COD 4 AK receiver. We're gonna be changing it to receiver desert. So, and then just like that, and then you're gonna plug it into our AVM over here. We could call it, I think it was LMS. COD 4 AK, yeah. And let me see, I think you could put the name right here. Let me see. Yeah, I think you put the name right here. Let's put desert and see what happens. Then we gotta make that craftable too as well. So to do that, I would use this null as a template right here. Copy that name. Yeah, bam, and bam. And make sure create object count 1. I believe that's it. We're so winging this because I haven't done the skins in a while. But bam, and then it's hop back in the game, and we gotta find a station to go to. But I so winged that because I haven't done it in so long. But it only takes like seconds to make skins. Like I hear about people not including skins into their paid weapon mods. This guy releases like a weapon mod and the shit is like all black. Dude, it takes like seconds to make skins, honestly. So skin. Wow. Default. Does there you go. Guys, it takes seconds to make skins. If you're technical enough. And it aims a little higher because we gotta add sites basically to it. But yeah, just like that. Yeah. That's pretty much it for that. This is super complicated because I use a COD weapon, and COD weapons are different. But you could take some of the stuff in this video and apply it to regular Sketchfab models that won't have this type of files. So there we have it. We imported a COD 4 weapon, or just a COD weapon in general, into our game. It doesn't take long. The more meshes you have, the more complicated it'll get. That's why I made this program right here, and we could talk about that right now, actually. We're gonna be working on this more, because since it worked in this tutorial, we're gonna be making this a little bit more complicated soon. So a brief overview of what we made, and this was literally a personal project. I want to see how far I could push ChatGPT 5. And we pushed it to the limits where it started hallucinating, all types of bullshit. But anyways, we basically took the idea of the material editor, this right here, and I'll try to implement something like this soon. But stripped it down to one shader model. We stripped it down to just standard layer 1. Where's it at? Yeah, I can't. Oh, because we're in it. We shipped it down to one shader model, and that's standard layer 1. If you don't know what that means, it's okay. In this program, you can also change the text resolution. If you don't know what this means right here, this means what the game. I'm assuming it means what the game will render the resolution of this texture at. Tiling is damn near the lowest. 4K, or I think 2K and 4K is high res. This might be 1K. Detail map is 1K. Unique map is it's one of those, but high res is like the highest you want to set your textures to. If you got like 2K textures you're using. Disable mid bias works. These work right here. So if I open up a material file with opacity tiling, that works. If I open up a material file with standard layer emission with whatever, I made some scenarios. Error, you can't do anything with that. Nope, can't do anything with that either. Standard one layer with tweaks. Detail map tiling. There's no textures on this, but yeah, bam, that worked. You can change the scale of that, and we'll do new real quick. New, and then we could also drag in bulk files, which should be working. It works and it doesn't work. I don't know why. Let's try that again. Yeah, it works. It works when it wants to work. Let's try it this way. Yeah, so that works like that. And this is for show, honestly. We're gonna be hopefully I can replace this soon with something that's um it's more like this and the NifSkope one. So you could get accurate textures and previewed and all the normal map and stuff. But the really cool feature about this one is the bulk dropping, and that's when I could just do this. I could just select the color map, normal, rough, bam, save it real quick. Set this and save it. That's super cool idea. We got batching included. This works just fine. But we really gotta nail this in right here. This is for show though. But the main core functionality of the program works just fine. And yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. Worked on it every day for the past 3 days. And the other one, I kept previewing. I won't show that one. That one's probably not gonna be finished. But yeah, that's it for the video. You just basically find a model online, put it into Blender, um, find a reference weapon, make sure the animations you preview are gonna line up, uh, and basically that's it. Put a substance painter, export it and everything. And it's pretty easy to make these weapon mods once you get the hang of it. Once you do one, the second one gets easier and you start printing them out. But yeah, that's it. That's gonna be it for the video, guys. We're at 1 hour 20 minutes in. Appreciate you guys for sticking along the whole way. If you have, you're gonna be learning a lot in this video. I'll try to link everything in the description. I'll try to include timestamps as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. The next one is gonna be whatever you guys would like it to be. Could be maybe about this program I made. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.